Today, I'm quite excited. I have with me three cameras: the Kodak P-880, the FujiFilm S-9000, and last but not least, the Panasonic FZ-50. All three of these cameras offer manual zoom lenses. Pretty neat. All three of these cameras run in about the 8 to 10 megapixel range. Each of these cameras has a similar size sensor, and each of these cameras offers a 50 millimeter marked lens focal length to shoot with. Okay, so each of the three cameras offer similar feature set, similar everything. So what am I doing with them? Well, I am at one of my favorite locations, and I am going to take the same composition with each camera using the same settings, the same focal length, trying to make everything as equivalent as I can to kind of do a side-by-side comparison of each of the cameras at a 50 millimeter focal length. I want to mention one thing before this unofficial test commences. Each camera has a different brand lens up front. As the manufacturers always said, their lenses were the best, the sharpest, offered the best rendering of the composition. So to keep in mind during the test, the Panasonic has a Leica lens, the Fuji has a Fujinon lens, and the Kodak has a Schneider Kreuznach lens. So let's start the test, and we gotta find a composition over by the lake. Compositions behind me is pretty much the one that I started this video with. My goal isn't to find the strongest composition right now. My goal is to compare the results unedited of each of the cameras. Right there. We'll start the Panasonic FZ-50. Alright, so all things being equal, the first thing I have to do is go up to my lens and adjust it to the 50 millimeter setting on there. Conveniently, all three of these cameras offer a little notch indicator to say exactly where you are. I'm also going to be taking off this filter up front because that can also impact the results. It's an old Vivitar skylight filter, but it is a little bit fuzzy, so that could definitely mess with the results. So again, 50 millimeter up front, and in the back, I'm going to try to shoot each one at f9.0 because there's so much sun. And my ISO for each one is going to probably go to 100. So that's going to be that f9, and I'm going to be aperture priority for each of these shots, which is indicated on the dial, the A right there, aperture priority. All right, first shot's coming up. Now for the Kodak P-880, again at the 50 millimeter mark, indicated right there. Settings, I gotta turn you on first, of course. Let's see, I need to change a couple of things on this guy, of course. I should have done this earlier. Fine. Color mode needs to be in black and white to match the other ones. Okay, I'm happy with everything else. Battery's almost dead, of course, because it's one of the lithium ions. ISO needs to be, where's my ISO button here? Oh, it can't because I'm in auto. Okay, aperture priority. ISO 100. Okay, and then f.8. All right. Next up is the FujiFilm S-9000. I didn't mention this before, though I should have. In each of these cameras, I'm utilizing an average metering mode, not matrix, not spot, but average, which will also help with the consistency of the results. And again, I gotta adjust my settings. You probably won't be able to see anything here because it's so sunny, but it's gonna happen. Alright, the next thing I gotta do is get everything packed up, head home, and put these images onto a computer screen to sift through them. I'm going to keep one image from each camera. I took 4 images on each camera just to make sure I got a nice clear shot. A couple of the cameras don't have image stabilization. Mainly, I'm going to say the FujiFilm and the Kodak don't offer that. However, the Panasonic does. But on the same note, if you want to talk camera specs and benefits, If you like a wider angle lens, the Kodak offers a 24mm while the Fujifilm offers a 28. The Panasonic starts at a less wide 35mm, but does offer longer reach for more telephoto capabilities. So it's a bit give and take, as with any camera. My suspicions were correct. I've taken a look at the images on the computer, I've zoomed in, I've pixel peeped, as those in the industry say, and first I'm going to say, who cares about pixel peeping? I think what's more important is that the image looks the way that it needs to in your mind's eye. Does the camera capture what you want it to? If it does, then that's the camera you need. So anyway, look at the images and see what you think. I'm going to post all three of them together on one screen. It's probably not the best presentation, but I'm learning. So yeah, my impressions are this. The Kodak is a little bit softer lens, but has really nice soft rendering of the clouds. The Fujifilm, this guy right here, tends to, it's pretty sharp, I think. Good resolution, good dynamic range. And then the Panasonic, I think, kind of wins out as far as sharpness and contrast goes, but that could also be due to the consequence of the light coming through the clouds. Whereas when I shot with the Kodak and the Fujifilm, both of those times the sun was kind of peeked behind the clouds a little bit. So naturally that will change. Thanks so much for watching, of course. And let me know in the comments below what you would like to see me do with the video with these cameras. Do you like the Kodak? Do you like the Fujifilm? Do you like the Panasonic? What suggestions do you have? Do you like some of the cameras I've done stuff with in the past? Or is there a particular camera that might be of interest for me to take a look at? Of course, like I said, leave those comments in the comment section below. And as always, please subscribe if you haven't. Please comment. And of course, until next time, get outside and make the ordinary extraordinary. Thank you so much for watching.
Curiosity killed my fury. You're becoming a curious one. Progress is looking an awful lot like entropy here in my 24th loop round the sun.